G'day, it's Richard. If you've been working on site for a few months and you think you're worth more money, but you're scared to ask because you don't want to look greedy or get shut down, this one's for you. In the next 9 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly when to ask, how to ask, and what to say so you don't burn your reputation or waste the opportunity. And at the end, I'll give you a quick checklist to run through before you have that conversation. Let's get into it.
Right, quick context. Most people who ask for more money on site, they do it wrong. They ask too early, or they ask without proof, or they pick the worst possible moment, like when the boss is stressed out because the job's behind schedule. And then they wonder why they got a no, or worse, why they're getting less hours now. The truth is, asking for more money isn't about deserving it. It's about proving you're worth it and asking at the right time in the right way. If you get those two things right, you'll get a yes way more often than you think. So let's break it down.
Block 1. When it's too early versus when it makes sense. First thing you need to know. Timing matters more than almost anything else. If you ask too early, you look entitled. If you wait too long, you're just leaving money on the table. So how do you know when it's the right time? Here are the signs you're ready. 1. You've been there at least 2 to 3 months and you're consistently reliable. You show up on time, you do what's asked, no dramas. 2. You're getting less supervision. The boss or the tradie doesn't need to check on you as much because they trust you'll do it right. 3. You're doing better tasks. You're not just sweeping and carrying anymore. You're cutting, measuring, setting up, maybe even working alone on small things. 4. You're solving problems without being asked. Someone needs something, you grab it before they ask. Something's not right, you fix it or you flag it. And 5, you're getting more hours or being called back more often than other labourers. If you're ticking 3 or more of those, you're probably ready to ask. But here's when it's too early. If you've been there less than a month, don't ask. If you're still making mistakes or needing constant direction, don't ask. If you've been late or called in sick a few times recently, definitely don't ask. You've got to earn the right to the conversation first. Block 2. The 3 biggest mistakes that kill the conversation. All right, let's talk about what not to do, because I see these mistakes all the time and they ruin your chances. Mistake number 1, asking without proof. You walk up to the boss and say, "Hey, can I get more money?" And that's it. No explanation, no examples, nothing. The boss is thinking, why? What's changed? And because you didn't give them a reason, the answer is probably going to be no. You've got to bring proof. I'll show you how in a minute. Mistake number 2, asking at the wrong time. The job's running late, the client's pissed off, everyone's stressed, and you choose that moment to ask for a raise. Mate, read the room. If the boss is in a bad mood or the site's in chaos, wait. Ask when things are calm. End of the day, end of the week, when a job's just finished and everyone's in a good headspace. Timing is everything. Mistake number 3, comparing yourself to other workers. That guy gets paid more than me and I work harder than him. Never say that. Ever. It makes you sound bitter and it puts the boss in an awkward position. This conversation is about your value, not someone else's pay. Keep it about you. Now, before I give you the script, let me show you how to build your proof. Because without this, you've got nothing. Stay with me. Block 3, how to build proof of value. Proof of value is just showing how you make life easier for the boss or the tradie. It's not complicated, but you've got to think about it before you ask. Here's what I mean. Let's say you're working as a labourer with a tiler. A few months ago, you were just mixing adhesive and carrying tiles. But now, you're marking layouts, cutting tiles, cleaning up as you go, and the tiler doesn't have to tell you what to do anymore. You just know. That's value. Because the tiler can work faster, the job gets done quicker, and the boss is happy. Or let's say you're on a building site and you've started doing tool checks at the end of the day without being asked. Everyone knows the tools are accounted for, nothing's going missing, and the boss doesn't have to worry about it. That's value. So before you ask for more money, write down 3 to 5 things you do now that you weren't doing when you started. Be specific, not "I work hard." That's meaningless. But I set up the site in the morning so the tradies can start straight away. Or I've learned how to use the drop saw so I can cut timber without supervision. That's proof. And when you can say that clearly and calmly, you're ready for the conversation. Block 4, the scripts. Alright, here's what you actually say. I'm going to give you 2 versions. One for talking to a boss or foreman, and one for talking to a tradie or contractor who calls you directly. These are short, respectful, and confident. Memorize the structure, not word for word, but the feeling of it. Let's go. Script A, talking to a boss or foreman. You find a quiet moment, maybe end of the day, and you say this. Hey mate, can I grab you for a minute? I wanted to check in about my rate. I've been here about 3 months now and I've taken on a bit more responsibility. I'm doing setups in the morning, I'm cutting timber on the drop saw, and I'm working with less supervision. I feel like I'm adding more value now than when I started, and I'd like to talk about adjusting my rate to reflect that. What do you reckon? That's it. You're not demanding, you're not complaining, you're just stating facts and asking for a conversation. Most of the time, if you've genuinely added value and you've picked the right moment, they'll say yes, or they'll at least tell you what they need to see first. Script B, talking to a tradie or contractor who calls you directly. This one's a bit different because you're dealing with someone who might be paying you out of their own pocket. So you say, hey mate, I've really enjoyed working with you these past few months. I feel like I've picked up a lot and I'm able to help out more than I could at the start. I wanted to ask if there's any room to bump up my rate a bit, given I'm doing more now. I'm keen to keep working with you, just wanted to see if that's possible. Again, respectful, clear, not pushy. You're giving them an out, but you're also making it clear you know your value. And if they respect you as a worker, they'll usually meet you somewhere in the middle. Block 5, if they say no. Alright, let's say you ask and they say no. First thing, don't get defensive. Don't argue, don't sulk, don't start looking for another job that same day. Just stay calm and professional. Here's what you say. No worries, I appreciate you hearing me out. Can I ask, is there anything specific I need to improve or take on before we revisit this? That does 2 things. 1, it shows you're not sooking, you're genuinely trying to improve. And 2, it gives you a roadmap. If they say, yeah, if you can learn how to use the laser level and take on more layout work, we can talk in a month, then you've got a clear target. And then you say this. Sweet, I'll work on that. Can we check in again in a few weeks and see how I'm tracking? You're not locking them into a date, but you're making it clear this conversation isn't over. And most bosses will respect that. If they just say no with no reason, or they're dismissive, that's actually useful information. It might mean they don't value you the way you thought, and maybe it's time to start looking elsewhere. But don't burn the bridge. Just keep working, keep your head down, and quietly start applying to other jobs. Sometimes the best raise is a new job. Alright, that's the full process. When to ask, what not to do, how to build proof, what to say, and what to do if they say no. But before you have this conversation, I want you to run through this quick checklist. Before you ask, checklist. 1. Have I been here at least 2 to 3 months? If not, wait. 2. Am I consistently reliable? On time, no dramas, no recent stuff-ups? 3. Can I list 3 to 5 specific things I do now that I didn't do when I started? Write them down. 4. Is this a calm time on site? Not in the middle of chaos? 5. Am I asking the right person? Boss, foreman, or the tradie who pays me directly? 6. Am I ready to hear no and respond professionally? If you're going to get emotional, wait until you're not. If you can say yes to all 6, you're ready. Go have the conversation. But, alright mate, that's the episode. If this helped, do me a favour. Drop a comment and let me know. Have you ever asked for more money on site? How did it go? I'd love to hear your stories, good or bad. And if you've got mates who are too scared to ask, send them this episode. It might give them the push they need. Next episode, I'm talking about what to do when you're stuck on the same site for months, you're not learning anything new, and you're wondering if it's time to move on. How to know when to stay and when to leave, and how to leave without burning bridges.
That's a big one, and you're going to want to hear it.
Cheers for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.